Hey, Rory.
Yo, where have you been?
Oh, yeah. About that. I spent the next half hour telling the tale of me, the Essentia 2000, and our journey deep into the dungeon of her mind, and into the dungeon of my mind.
So, that's how the world ends? With you destroying it somehow? I don't think I know what that means.
I don't get it myself, but I need your help.
What's your plan? Suicide? Just kidding, that's never cool.
I'm thinking something a little less martyry. I want to train our butts off and be ready to kick this thing's ass once it gets here.
When is it coming for us?
I don't know the exact date, but my gut is telling me it's on New Year's Eve. All that Y2K panic, what if people can sense the end is coming? I know that sounds dumb, but I can't help but feel like that's when it's gonna happen. So what do you say? Are you in?
What's the alternative? Run away to the soul space? I could never convince my mom or dad to even try astral projection. And I would never leave everyone else here to die. Of course I'm in.
Oh, I was hoping I'd see you. You know, I had the strangest dream last night. I was looking for something for my brother. My brother was older, probably in his 30s, except he had glasses and red hair. He kind of looked like you. Anyway, I was wandering around. I wanted something of his to take home, something that he handled every day, or that had been close to his body. But it couldn't be anything important that he would miss. So, I stole one of his pencils.
You know what's weird? I feel like I've heard this story before. Why is that?
I don't know. Anyway, I took the pencil and started drawing all over the walls with it. I kept writing the same word over and over.
What did you write?
It was pantaloon! Over and over again. Pantaloon! 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 Pantaloons! So, anyway, my brother comes into the room and he just looks at me like he caught me naked, or at least in my pantaloons. And he starts crying. Just sobbing. I start crying too. And then I woke up. Weird dream, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I know the world's going to end. I'm gonna do my best to help you.
What? How did you figure that out?
You'll figure it out. You're smart enough. You have all the clues you need.
What? How can you just...
You know, I had a dream last night. In my dream, I saw my brother, but my brother was you. Cute little kid, grew up to be an ugly ginger like yourself. But you came to me and asked me for a favor. Is that why you're here?
It is.
So, what's the deal? I'm guessing it's something serious.
The world's going to end. I saw it in my mind dungeon. Remember the android from that van? Well, that android is Vela, Sammy, and a bunch of other people in a parallel life. She showed me all of these things, and I know now that the world will end soon. I want to train in the mind dungeon and be ready to fight this thing when it comes for us. You down?
Are you serious?
Very.
I'm down. I believe you, man. Dude, you gave me hope again. You brought a sense of adventure back in my life that I thought had vanished with my little brother.
Really? I didn't know.
Man, meeting you and your friends was the best thing to ever happen to me. Without meeting you, I'd be so oblivious to everything that's out there.
I'm glad I was able to help. I had no idea I had that sort of effect on anyone.
Well, just let me know when you're ready to start training. Oh yeah!
A feeling of hope grew as I realized everyone I asked to help me said yes. Did I really deserve everyone's help? Nope, not at all. Maybe this is why I was exceedingly grateful. I thought about Michael. He was the only one I hadn't seen since I returned from my trip into the Essentia 2000's mind. Where had he gone? Why hadn't anyone else seen him?
Alex, come to the forest meadow just south of Frankton. There's something I want to talk to you about.
I'll be right there. Michael? Is that you? Where the hell have you been? I've been looking for you for the past week. I called your house, knocked on your door, and no one ever answered.
None of that matters anymore. It's so trivial. Don't you see? No, of course you don't. I wouldn't have a week ago.
What happened? You sound different. Your voice is different. What's going on?
Alex, something has happened to me. I am transformed. I've come to understand certain things. I've been exposed to the truth.
What do you mean? What happened?
Something happened to me. Something very startling at first. But now it's just incredible.
Are you gonna tell me what happened, or are you just gonna keep acting like Vela?
I saw the soul space. I met a parallel self. I lived so many lives. I am everything.
What?
Alex, I entered the mind dungeon alone, and I wandered and wandered. Soon I stumbled upon a hall of names. Each of these names was etched into a door. Inside each of these doors was a life. My life. For 9 days straight, I experienced what it was like to be my parallel selves. Alex, to experience a parallel life in real time is to become an oxymoron. To be something and not be something, both at once. I am me, but I am also her or him. I have my memories, but they also don't belong to me. The very act of experiencing a parallel life is mind-shattering. When we are born, we immediately begin developing a series of biases and defenses that help us ground our lives in the reality that we invent for ourselves. In doing so, we lose sight of the temporary nature of life. We forget everything. We lose track of where we came from and only look to the future. Experiencing a parallel life disassembles all physiological constraints that have been built up over the years. We see life for what it is, a three-sided box that only allows us to look forward, not back into our own minds where the true nature of reality exists. Do you know what the funniest part is?
What?
I know what you've come to ask me. And I know that I'll say yes, even though I always turn you down. Do you realize how many times we've had this conversation? It's like clockwork. I have a friend. This friend continuously hurts another friend of ours, and soon he realizes his flaws. He soon asks me to try and save him from self-destruction. Every time I say no, and every time you destroy our reality. Maybe it took for me to realize what not helping a friend can do to that friend, but I'm in. Let's win this thing.
Michael, did you see how reality ends?
No. All of my lives end with you destroying everything. But I'm never there to see firsthand how you do it.
Crap. I was really hoping you knew the answer.
I'm surprised you're not alarmed by what I've told you. What have I missed while I'm away?
I think you should meet our new android friend.
Alex, do you feel the air? Do you see the stars? Their positions have changed. Did you notice the colors? Everything is wrong. This isn't what it was like. Something is wrong. Something is broken. Can't you see it?
Michael, I don't know. Maybe things feel different, but dude, they've felt different for a long time. The very feeling of being me has changed. I can't really put my finger on it, but something is wrong. You're right.
Do you ever remember things wrong?
No? I don't think so. What does that mean?
Never mind. I suppose not. Let's go back to your house.
As we walked back to my house, a strange feeling of nostalgia overwhelmed me. It was as if I hadn't seen Michael in a really long time. As if the Michael I'd spent the past year with had been broken, and now he was fixed. This was the Michael I remembered. In the cooling winter air, I had a series of memories return to me. All of them involved Michael, but none of them felt real. As if I'd experienced them in a far-off, distant life.
It is a pleasure to meet you all. Although, in a way, we have met many times before, both in the past of our parallel lives, and in the future of our parallel lives. I am going to make this brief. Starting tomorrow, we will train in the Mind Dungeon. It is now the 24th of November, and...
But tomorrow's Thanksgiving!
Thanksgiving? Tomorrow?
Yeah, and so we should start on Friday!
What about shopping on Friday? Just kidding! Seriously, just kidding!
Many of my parallel lives were Canadian, so this is somewhat a surprise to me, as I experienced Canadian Thanksgiving a few weeks ago. Alright, fair enough. Friday we begin.
The promise of a future is something I'd grown to take for granted. Now, with the threat of impending doom, I realize how silly it was to do so. And what else could be expected of me? I've lived the past 25 years knowing nothing but a series of tomorrows. In fact, I'll do that tomorrow, and become my mantra over the past 2.5 decades. Tomorrow, there may be nothing. Today, maybe the last day. This knowledge triggered something in me to fall away. It was as if the core of my personality dropped away and nothing came in to fill the hole. It was like being hungry all the time except food, mindless fun, and things that normally bring happiness had lost their appeal. The knowledge that this was all temporary had stripped me of the ability to experience basic human pleasures. What I craved from a sense of normal, the desire to go back. No, that's not right. I didn't want to go back. If I went back, I'd be the same person I used to be. Selfish, unfocused, lazy. I had no purpose. I was a blank slate that was covered in war paint. I was going to defeat whatever was coming from my reality. Even if it was me. I would defeat myself. What that meant, I didn't know. But I was prepared to do whatever it took. I liked what I was becoming. What I didn't like was wasting time eating turkey, cranberry sauce, and mashed potatoes.
It's 7:05 a.m. This is the earliest you've been up since you had that 7:30 class. And even then, you woke up at 7:30.
Feels good. I was so excited to get to the mine dungeon I barely slept last night.
Impressive. Well, get to work. Remember, you can choose to go to the mine dungeon or visit your friends in town. You can only do one or the other. We have about a month until the new year comes, and it's hard to do both in a day. Try and spend as much time in the mine dungeon as you can. If you don't train hard enough, you might not be strong enough by the time the end comes.
Got it. Today I'll...
The face is screwed up in this window. The face is screwed up in this window.
So, I've been reading the newspaper a lot lately, trying to comb it for stories, little clues about what might be coming. There's something I've noticed. Has anyone else felt like the amount of screwed up stuff happening lately has escalated?
What do you mean?
Like, last year I swear I never heard about girls going missing, dying in water towers, people shooting up their schools. And now what? I swear, every time I catch the news, there's a new tragedy. It's like people are going out of their way to find new ways to die.
When you experienced your parallel lives, were there any indication that it's just this reality that's like that?
That's a good question.
That is a very interesting question to ask, Alex. I am afraid that even I, a being who is aware of all of my parallel lives at once, cannot answer. The defining core mechanics of each reality is so different that there is very little point in comparing them. The norm for, say, my life as Oda, compared to my life as Yuzu, are so starkly different. In Oda's life, I longed for family that was never around. In that reality, families were not close. Whereas in Yuzu's reality, people lived with their families and never moved apart. People who did not speak with their families were considered to be outcasts.
Great. So do you think things are getting worse?
I believe things are always as they've been, only you are just now old enough to notice how harsh reality can be.
LP talk!
shut. Ow!
out my sick beats.
$11.99! $11.99! $11.99!
LP talk!
Right in the manhole! Right in the manhole! Right in the manhole!
P, toss!
Ow!